When you see a ballerina dancing, what else can come to mind besides the pink tutus and unicorns? Well, I think of the beautiful death contraptions known as pointe shoes. That's what we're going to be talking about today. The history of pointe shoes. In the 1730s, Marie Camagaro cut the heels off of her dance shoes, inventing the first ballet slipper. In the 1790s, Charles Didelot created a flying machine that lifted the dancers with a wire so that they were on their toes to fly. This inspired the idea of dancing on pointe. In the 1820s, Amelia Berganoli was the first person to dance on her toes on stage, though she showed clear effort to do so and had to use her arms since she was using a basic slipper. She sparked a revolution that caused all dancers to change the style. In the 1930s, Marie Taganoli was the first person to perform a whole dance on her toes. She added satin ribbons to her slippers to add character and emotion. In the 1870s to 1890s, the first actual pointe shoes were invented when Italian shoemakers reinforced the shoes by giving them stiff boxes made out of newspaper, flour paste, and pasteboard and added leather to the cardboard insoles. In the 1910s to 1930s, Anna Pavallo formed the first true pointe shoe brand, Kepso. In the 1920s to today, the pointe shoes continued to improve and become safer and better for dancers to wear. In 2017, the first pointe shoe was created for colored dancers. Before this, they had to paint their pointe shoes with foundation. The design of pointe shoes. The platform is the part that you stand on, which is connected to the box, which have wings out to the side of your foot. The vamp goes from the platform to the drawstring. The drawstring is used to tighten up the pointe shoe around your heel. The ribbons are tied up around your ankle, and the elastics hold the pointe shoe in place. The heel seam goes across your heel. The outer shank and sole are what gives you arch support. There are pleats where the fabric comes together. Getting your point shoes. Not everyone can use point shoes. You must have enough strength and technique before you can actually begin to dance. In most dance studios, exams are taken after a year or two long pre-point class to decide if you are ready to dance on point. 10 to 12 are common ages to start, but if you are strong enough, you can start earlier than that, and there's no reason you can't start later. The purpose of a point shoe is to brace the foot as you go onto your toes and to help distribute the weight, but the dancer must be ready to get on the toe while keeping good technique. When you buy a point shoe, you get a fitting. Point shoes must be a perfect fit to prevent injury. Different brands have different strengths and shapes in the box and have different thickness in shanks, and fitters will carefully consider what is best for you. Size includes the length of the point shoe and the size of the box. Do not get fitted right away in the morning. The shoes will be too small for your feet because as you walk through the day, your feet swell. Costs of the point shoes are about $100 on average. Breaking in a new point shoe. New point shoes should be broken in to be like an extension to your foot. The best way you can break it in is with your own strength and body, but that can take a lot of work. You can crush the rock slightly with your own hands to soften it, and you can bend the shank slightly and slowly to break in the arch. Be careful when doing this. If you do it wrong, you can break the shoe and make it useless before wearing it. Do some exercises to bend the shoe. Professionals demolish their shoes because they are only worn for one performance. You should never do this if you want them to last. Other point shoe preparations. To make it less slippery, some dancers cut the satin off of the platform of the shoe and hem around it. Point shoes don't come with elastics or ribbons, so every dancer must sew them on yourself. Elastics are very important because they keep the shoe on and your foot supported. They can be sewn as one piece across the ankle or two pieces crossed at the upper foot. Ribbons aren't as much for support but as for looks. When tying ribbons, you don't wrap them all the way up your calf, despite common belief. You keep them at your ankle, wrapping one side then the other, and tying them on the inside of the ankle, so that they do not hurt your leg. Inside of the point shoe. The most common additions to the point shoe are a big toe sleeve, slipped over the big toe to cushion between the point shoe and the nail. It can ease discomfort and pain of cracked or ingrown toenails and protect areas prone to blisters. Lamb's wool can be inserted to fill in gaps and cushion to prevent blisters. Toe spacers are pieces of gel for between the toes to help alignment, prevent bunions, and even pressure. They can come in different sizes and shapes. Toe tape is used for wrapping specific toes or areas that have chafing or are prone to blisters. Toe pads reduce the pressure on toes and help prevent blisters. They can be made of wool, fabric, gel, or a combination. There are some professionals out there that use paper towels. You should try and limit the amount of stuff that's used in your shoe because it's just overall better if you can use your own strength without too many assistants. Dead point shoes. Point shoes die when they are broken down so that they are completely unsafe to use and will cause injury if you continue to use them. The average lifespan of a point shoe is 8 to 20 hours of use, which is actually more than you think. It is less for professional dancers because they do more vigorous dancing on them. Sweat breaks down the paste and burlap over time. The shank is usually the first to die. It'll become soft and no longer provide support. The box also will become soft and no longer give support, but will allow the foot to slide around. Some shoes, like Gainer Minden, are made out of materials that do not break down as easily, like plastics. Injuries from dead point shoes. Dead point shoes can cause the foot to collapse on itself. It can cause permanent bunions, cartilage problems, arthritis, bone spurs, and loss of motion in the joints. It can also cause fractures, tendonitis, tears in tendons, sprains, pulled ligaments, and many other injuries. It can cause the less severe options but still bad blisters, bruising of toenails, and chafing. A review of what we've gone over today. History of point shoes, their basic design, getting your point shoes and breaking them in, the preparations to wear your point shoes, the additions to the inside of point shoe, and dead point shoes. Now you know, ballet isn't just pretty pink tutus.